We did it, guys. Look.
A-okay. See
we
how...
changed.
Hi, Karen.
Where we're sitting. Where are we sitting, baby?
Well, we're sitting on the couch. We did sit in there, but Sean's neck hurts. Look, really bad. It's doing that thing where it zooms in and out.
It is?
I think it's okay, but I don't know if they see it.
Can you see it?
Do y'all see it on your end?
All six of you here see it?
How it does that. Hold on, let me do this, and we'll see.
It's just not focusing, that means. But here, hold on. Let me get...
A-okay. Perfect. And then I knew he was going to start meowing.
Should I let him out?
Not unless he does it again. He had already gotten put to bed. Wintertime, Scout goes to bed even earlier. But then he heard us, so he decided to start meowing. What's up, Sean? Dude. Sean and I were listening to music.
We were listening to Meatloaf.
He was talking about 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And I said, doesn't Kenny Rogers sing that? And he was like, what?
I was very offended.
I was like, the Meatloaf song, I'm not crazy about Meatloaf's songs, mainly because I never understand them. But this one was not so bad, but he was kind of being a dick, that Meatloaf was in the song. She
thinks the lyrics to 2 out of 3 ain't bad. He's dissing her. And he kind of is, because if you listen to the song, it says, there's only one girl that I've ever loved, and that's so many years ago. That's what he says. And he says, I want you, I need you, but I'll never love you. So basically in the song, he says, years ago, this girl broke my heart. She walked out the door. So I'm basically about to do the same thing to you.
And Meatloaf kind of looks like a little troll. Or he did. He's not alive anymore, is he?
Yeah. I'm making sure that we're at our channel. We are. I just want to make sure I'm not in one of my troll accounts.
He's got 25 sock accounts.
And so are we that pixelated to everybody, do you think? Are we good?
I hope not.
Is our picture good, guys? Or are we like a little bit...
Do you think it looks pixelated?
Oh, look at that one. Hold on.
I just think it keeps zooming in and out every time we move. You know what I mean?
I think we're good. Well, I think we're good.
We have to be good because that's the way it goes.
Mandi looks fabulous as usual. As usual.
Did you say that or did someone say that?
I just said it.
That means a lot to me.
I want me to pin what I said.
He's gonna be on one, I think.
I'm on one, I think.
So,
Karen said it's a little fuzzy. I think it's
fuzzy?
coming back in
Moxie.
now. Hey, Moxie.
It might be fuzzy because it's super confused. Let's see if this helps it.
Right now.
Yeah, let's see if this helps it. Usually if you do no fast movements, then it starts... I think we've got the quality set too high. And I might have to fix that. I might have to fix that next time.
We have to make a deal tonight, though.
What's the deal?
No matter what happens, no matter what we say, no matter what we talk about, that we do not gaslight anybody.
Yeah. I don't know. Is it just me, or does gaslighting seem like it takes like a certain amount of manipulation?
Yeah.
Right?
Somebody put in the chat what their definition of gaslighting is.
It is a very new term. And I'm like, if we get told that we're gaslighting, I'm like, that means that
and we're not even good about it.
Don't like me matches. That's what I think. Because, okay, you have to think about this. Well, what the term is based on should explain what it is. Okay. So gaslighting is when you dump gas on something and light it and accelerates it, right? It's an accelerant.
It's a form of psychological manipulation which the abuser attempts to sow self-doubt and confusion in their victim's mind.
So who's the abuser, me or you? Because if we're doing it to the broader audience,
right?
Then who are we doing?
Are we gaslighting you guys? I just want to know if we are.
I think we got accused of gaslighting because we called Al out for being such a
Typically, gaslighters are seeking to gain power and control of the other person by distorting reality and forcing them to question their own judgment, intuition. Kind of like saying, "Does she really hate herself?"
See, that's what I'm saying.
Does she really hate herself?
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. So to gaslight, you have to have a motive, and it has to be successful. You have to cause the person to doubt themselves.
Right.
So if you give someone that much power that you're gaslighting, which means they're manipulating and people believe it and they doubt themselves, you're giving someone way too much power.
Yeah.
Way too much power.
I mean, I think gaslighting is really... Well, I mean, we see it. You can see it. But really, gaslighters are, it's more of a one-on-one type relationship.
Oh, it's not a new term.
It's not a new term.
But it's kind of in.
Well, it's there. They throw it around our community like it's, you know.
Yeah.
And I will say, well, I was talking to a couple people about it.
It's a bit of a new, it's not a new term. It's when someone is getting you to second guess themselves.
Right.
Don't ever give someone that much power.
No,
and don't tell them that they're able to do it, for sure.
Right.
You know?
And that's the perfect example, the perfect soundbite is Wendy when they're throwing Sin under the bus. And she goes, does she really hate herself?
She goes, I think she does hate herself.
So bad.
So there's a 1940s movie called Gaslight. Okay. Maybe we'll educate ourselves on that.
Okay.
Right?
I mean, yeah.
You're crazy. So Sawyer, before he wants to, about a husband setting up his wife to think she's insane.
Oh my God.
Okay, look. You got a bath. Say hello to all your friends.
He did. He's got his toy in his mouth.
This is his baby. This is his baby.
Like
hey, Stitching is second guessing his new mermaid comforter. Elbow got a new rig. He got a new rig.
Who did? Elbow?
Elbow did. Yeah, so I've been catching up on a few
Soy brown.
There's like a whole bunch of situations that I've been trying to catch up on, but I'm super late. Like where's Stewie? Does anybody know where Stewie?
Yeah,
I'm not going to get into that.
I want to.
Why? No.
No, you don't want to.
I just want to know where he is.
Where's Stewie?
Has he been around?
Pretty fucked up.
You can get into it if you want to, but yeah. I don't.
I think that just lurking creep is a creep.
He's a weirdo, man. For sure.
I mean, we have people that.
At the end of the day, he's supposedly in Houston tracking down Stewie.
Here's the thing, man. You know, it's like, you want to talk about potentially bringing some people together that typically don't like each other. You know, Mandi kind of enlightened me on what was going on. Man, we like Stewie, but for whatever happened. But this guy, whoever this just lurking is a bona fide creep, man. I mean, bona fide.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
No, it's cool. Yeah. He supposedly is in Houston looking for Stewie.
Look, so imagine if you pick anybody, whether we like him or don't like him, and they're in a videotaping themselves or vlogging themselves in their car saying, I'm out here searching, for whatever. That would be like, no, don't do that.
It's very strange. It's very and then weird. There's random people scattered into the story, and I can't, I've caught up as much as I can, but it sounds like the whole thing all the way around from beginning to end was a jacked up situation. Yeah. On all fronts. Yeah. Like he's like meowing. Yeah, and that is a bit strange. He's like, I'm in Houston. It's a beautiful day. And whether he is or isn't, I don't know. But that's kind of weird.
But it's just creepy.
It's very creepy.
I think, everybody knows where we live.
Melinda.
If somebody was like, I'm searching for whatever, I'd be like, dude, just bring your ass here. Let's get this over with. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
but Stewie has managed to stay off. Nobody knows who he is. Which is cool because he's done it for a long time, not being found out. So that's usually if you could make it through 6 years in the drama community and no one knows your real name, where you live.
The bottom line is, without going any further into it, is there's a ton of people that are siding with Stewie here. This is whatever, drama is whatever, but don't be such a fucking creep. The person that's trying to hunt Stewie down, I'm going to find you. Fuck off, dude.
Yes.
Exactly.
Lady Guinevere is here. She said that she's missed us. Thank you. We've missed you too. I haven't seen her. I haven't seen you in a while. You must have been working hard.
Yeah.
She's a sweet girl. I've DM'd with her before. I think she's the one that liked the Grinch Hershey's Kisses last year.
The Grinch Hershey? It was. I remember that.
Incidentally, I haven't seen him this year. Oh, but we're still on Halloween candy. I'm telling you,
there's people. There's two types of people: the people that want to get their Christmas stamps early, and people that are like, "Don't offer me Christmas stamps before Halloween."
You're like, "I'll offer you what I want."
I say, "Well."
You don't say that.
I don't say that.
Because you're
tell him 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
That is probably what he does.
I did that. I was telling Mandi when I'm on one, like at work, and I'm walking by, and there's somebody, and they're like complaining about their mail. Mail is serious. If it's your mail, if it's my mail, it's serious. And they were looking for packages, and they were going through their tracking numbers. And I said, I got that one, and I got that one, and I need to know where this one is. And I would just say, but 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
And they
really didn't think that was too funny.
No, people are serious about their mail.
They are.
I don't know the last time I've been into a post office to do. Yes, he loves his baby. Was gone when I got home. Oh, so this is his. He likes. Most of the time he has like baby chickens and stuff. Not real baby chickens, but like little toys, and we call him his baby. But today, the last week or so, he's had this little bear, and that's his baby. That's his baby.
Sawyer Brown.
He's like, I got a bath, Dad.
He's like, damn, man. He says, why are you exploiting me to these people here?
He's got, so we have a little barred rock rooster, and I think I've told this, but I'm going to tell it again for those who don't know, who loves to chase him down right when Sawyer gets outside. And I've been videotaping it.
Sawyer.
And what's interesting is this chicken started this size. He's getting bigger, and he's still, and at first, Sawyer didn't really pay any attention. Now, as he's getting bigger, Sawyer's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So I'm going to take all the little clips and put them together when the barred rock is like full grown. He was supposed to be a hen, but Tractor Supply got it wrong.
We're pretty sure, unless it's really...
I don't think so. I think it's him.
So, guys, we're up to like 4 roosters. But we have like 28 chickens now.
We do.
We can't get any more.
At the end of the day, I typed in the other day, you're beautiful. I've been seeing your live streams. Absolutely gorgeous, as are all of you ladies. Mm-hmm. And
at the end of the day is probably not somebody that goes after people, because
she makes observations for sure.
Yeah,
but she's not a dragger.
She's not a dragger. Mm-mm. Typically, the draggers are people that have a lot to be desired.
Right. So.
Oh, and by the way, Olap is buns. Okay.
Olap is buns.
Okay.
Everybody knows it.
All right. Stop trying to plant the seed. I know over there that when Olap is riding with you, it's kind of have a dubious friend, but Olap is buns.
So, like Moxie had mentioned in Paula's chat today, by the way, I was going to jump on that panel, but we went to the in-laws. Went from the nail salon to the in-laws, and I didn't get the chance to do it. But next time
we had to check on Padre.
And we got shepherd's pie when we went over there. Never really had it.
Nothing like good shepherd's
was
pie.
Was a fan of it. I have to say, I was a fan of it.
I knew what it was.
It's like a ground beef quiche.
Yeah, but the quiche is potatoes. Like it's not,
right. It's like mashed potatoes.
And they put the meat in. Like some shepherd's pie. Did this have peas in it?
Yes, I can make that.
I know.
I have the ground beef in the fridge. We had the homemade mashed potatoes today. Mm-hmm. Anyways, let's get back on.
We had steak tonight. Anyway.
We did. I put a picture of it up. Mm. He never responds when I post things like dinners and stuff because it's super weird. We live in the same house. Yeah. I noticed people have noticed before, like, she posts things and Sean never comments. Sean's not a big commenter anyway, but we also live in the same house. So that would be weird if we had a whole conversation.
Waiting for me with bated breath. Is he going to comment? Is he going to comment?
So Moxie had said Paula should check out the first 20 minutes of Samantha's live stream from 3 days ago.
Which made
me go check out the first 20 minutes.
I
saw you, girl.
Which made me. Here.
Yeah, then he would, but I watched it first. So anyway, there's no need to get into the ins and outs except to say that that's where we found out that we're gaslighters.
We're gaslighters, people.
That's where I found out that we're we're up to our fuck shit again.
Yep. Are we up to our fuck shit, people?
Don't worry about the legal stuff we got going on. That y'all don't need to worry about that. And the other thing, not between the two of them, but the other thing, Owl. Sam routinely makes you look like a dumbass. And you keep coming back.
You keep coming back.
Please, ma'am, can I have some more? Please, sir, may I have another?
Yes, sir, may I have another?
She called you a flip-flopper, which you are.
Okay, so look, here's my swag at it.
We won't do it very long, but we got, hey, Sarah, go ahead.
I haven't listened to Sam probably since last holidays when we were in the shit with her, right? I've had no reason to. I've had no reason to listen to her.
We're gaslighters.
And so when they're like, and Mandi was like, Sean, listen to this. And I was like, I don't really listen to it and you'll be amused. So I did. And I probably listened to 10 minutes of it. Mm-hmm. First of all, Sam seems tired.
She is tired.
She doesn't seem like she really, a
little burned out, I think.
Looks like, the effort she's got to put into her heart wasn't in it. It seemed like that she really wasn't supposed to be talking about us. She kept
I think if she pretends to be tired of talking about us, but
Right.
she said she goes, I'll admit, I watched them when I was, girl, you used to review us.
Yeah, you used to review us all the time. You don't
why
have to
don't
admit
you watch
anything.
us?
But the thing is that I found myself when I was listening to her going,
thank you.
She ain't wrong. She was calling Owl the flip-flopper of the community. It's true. I've been saying this.
And she goes, they showed Leticia's camera, what is it? The cam footage from the police officer. She goes, I think that's in poor taste, but that's my opinion. Yes, girl,
Thank you. Sam, did you see, you said you watched this. We said the same thing.
Hey, Carlos.
We said the same thing. That group of people, even though Sam kind of says that all of us, Owl and all of us are in the same group. So
it's
there's
the hate train.
The hate train. But really, nobody, Owl, lean in, girl. Nobody, not one side of this.
Nobody respects your shit.
No, nobody thinks and nobody wants to and nobody is gonna try to make a dime off Leticia. Okay? Nobody's gonna make a dime.
Apparently she's been instructed per her release. She can't post on social media. But y'all would love to let her do it anyway.
And that was, Mandi heard, I did a vlog today and then didn't release it. But I basically said, because people say about Owl, when they talk about Owl, they were like, Sean, what you say when you talk about Owl, because people talk about Owl lets it go. But when Sean talks about Owl, she loses her mind. So my whole thing was like, look, Owl I've said the same thing. She doesn't know if she's coming or going. And when she added memberships to her, she really lost her way. She's got how many ever subs she's got? She had those 14,000 subs before there was even a DC.
Yeah, and and the more stoned she gets, the more ridiculous she gets. So maybe just a little less on the bong hits before you do your stuff. Because like everybody else, you're not tough. Nobody's scared of you. As a matter of fact, it looks like a whole lot of people don't really have
They're on the same side of the fence. When
at the end of the day, there's other people that she said, I'll admit I like Sam's voice. You're not the only one. There's a few people that like us that are like, I'm going to be honest with you. I like her voice. People either like it or hate it or whatever.
You guys got to remember, if there's anybody anywhere that knows Telford's this girl right here. I mean, and they did. They've had probably more conversations than anybody's had. And it's like, she has got the gift of gab. She does.
She does. She's got most of the people in the drama community. It's a combination. A whole lot of us are addicts in recovery. A lot of us. So we're hustlers by definition. You can put words together. It can pop off quick. You can do all of that. That's what we're built on. Right? Like that's what we're built on. None of us are really like big bad nobodies. We're all just online. But you throw some makeup on and talk some shit and it,
the thing that happened with YouTube added memberships.
No problem.
It changed the landscape. Some people for the better. Some people that had really good channels, that it was an opportunity for them to make a little bit more money, because people that said, I will come and watch everything and I'll pay you $10 to watch it. I'll pay you $20 to watch it. But there's other people that really,
yes, Stitching, I heard that. No social media. Go ahead.
There's other people that it didn't do them any favors. There's a price for your humility, and there's a price for everybody's got their price. And there's a few people, and I think Owl's one of them. If you guys, I don't know if Owl has any of her vlogs from like 8 years ago. She used to, when she was the original, the oil wife life. That's where Owl came from.
Right.
Oil wife life. They were cool. They were about whatever she was talking about, and she did her little vlogs. She didn't start live streaming until what, a couple years ago? Something like that?
Yeah, but a couple years ago. And when she first started streaming and she was super nervous, and some of the, the OGs and things would go in and go, hey, and she'd go, oh my gosh, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for whatever. And she got a few more subs and she got a few more subs. And people did what people do, which is to comment on her, watch her, comment on her. It was never anything, that's what people do. That's what we do. And then she started getting so offended by so many people. Well, mainly just Sean. Well, I can talk about her all day long, and she doesn't give a shit.
If you look at the history of it, you guys that have been around, do you remember when Owl talks to my mother? She was trying to defend me.
Yeah,
we were living in Texas, and somebody was portraying my mother a certain way. Al doxed her, and she was like saying, "Hey, this is her practice," and she was trying to do me a
And
favor,
Sean
and I
was
was
like,
like,
take my
"No,
mom's picture
I
down,
just take my
please."
picture down. Thank you, but don't dox my mother." And she did.
Yeah.
And so she kind of was like defended me. We never
Yeah.
talked, but she defended me. All of a sudden, she caught herself on the wrong side of the tracks, on the same side with Sam. And we were telling Owl, if you're going to review us, review Sam, and she wouldn't do it. So we told her she's taking orders from Sam. She started literally sucking up to Sam, and Sam was treating her like garbage, worse than we treat her.
I'm the one that started the terminology. It's not like my term, but I'm the one that brought into the community marching orders.
Right.
Right? Yeah. I did it.
Yeah.
And I also would argue that I'm the one that came up with the term rogue mod back when it was first a thing.
Way
and
back.
The boardroom was there was nothing else to call it. So it was like, well, it's like a rogue mod. And that's how, not that I want credit for anything.
Nobody's got the trademark on it. But the thing is that people watch the community, and people will look at what Owl's saying, and they're like, why is what Sean says, she catches her attention. Owl really took a step, because I said a few months ago, the route that she's going to have to totally do an about face for everything that she said, about domestic violence. She's going to have to, and it was going to be interesting if she did. And I didn't think it would do her any favors. And voila, she comes out with, I don't know why I ever supported Sean, and I don't know.
It's so
blah, blah, blah.
obvious or whatever.
It's so, and it's like, dude, people saw that flip flop.
Yeah, exactly. It says birds of a feather. And Karen made it. So who's the bigger snake, Sam or Owl? Owl, 100%.
I mean,
Sam is at least at face value. She does her shit, but she does whatever.
Right. But the fact that, and so we're talking about this because Mandi is like, hey, watch 10 minutes of this. And I was like, okay. So I did. And I'm like listening to Sam say, Owl, you're a flip-flopper. You're you're a hater. Fool. It's in poor taste to talk about Letitia. It's bad. And it was exactly what we said. It's exactly what we said. So that was surprising to me.
Nobody is, there's no, like, if someone's honest, especially when it comes to the friendship that Sam and I had, most of the piss and vinegar is for hurt, right? Because two friends that were fairly close get into it, and there's a whole lot of hurt involved. Well, I mean, at face value. But then it gets to the point where it's like, just let it go. And I'm like, I don't understand. I don't think there's any value in, talk about us all day long. That's what we do in this community. But there's no value in the whole analyzing something so simple as our streams and saying that we're gaslighters.
Right.
But we could be. Yes, we
I
could
really.
Who are we causing to doubt themselves?
Right. Who's doubting themselves?
Because Owl's called us a gaslighter. Owl, are you doubting yourself?
Are you doubting yourself, girl?
Are you doubting yourself?
We're gaslighting. We need to stop.
Too much weed makes you paranoid.
That was the other point. There's a lot of people that smoke, and I'm an advocate for medicinal marijuana. PTSD, for pain. We have friends that smoke it to help them. But there's one thing by doing that, and there's another thing by being, a 50-year-old woman that rolls a big doobie in there,
baked all the time.
Well, no, but talks about it like they're 18 to get everybody else on their live stream to feel like they do. They don't. They're watching what you do, and they certainly don't go to their kids' school afterwards. But
and everybody has watched the change in you.
Yes.
I mean, people could like you or not like you from way back, but you were what you were, and you usually could take a deep breath and say, "Okay, this is the reality." You're so jaded now by people talking about the shit that you do that you can't even be like that anymore.
And the big thing they talk about is.
Yes.
One of the things is the domestic violence switch, and how she did that, not because she believes it, but she did it in the name of the fuck shit direction that she had to go with her channel.
She had to.
She didn't have a choice, and it's like, voila, there it is.
That was another thing. Sam said she'd kind of passed the torch to talking about me and Sean to Owl. So it was like, okie dokie.
Okie dokie.
It's that there you go. So when you review us, make sure you put this whole big span of stuff in it.
Yeah.
Because you are a flip-flopper.
You are, and everybody knows it.
And then,
it's okay.
Then you got Olop /Buns in there trying to get her 2 cents. She's like, She didn't appreciate that I signed her up for a fast food interview. She's a dumbass. She signed me up for an interview at McDonald's. I got a text to confirm the job interview. Never went. No one called. Nothing else came of it. And I guess, here you go. Here is your time in the spotlight that you did that. It was fucking stupid.
It was stupid.
It was one of the, and then you just called it out like I mean, nobody cares.
Nobody knew.
It's
what
stupid.
the fuck is she talking about? And here's the thing: when I was listening to Sam, and I know there's been a lot going on in that household. I don't think her and Yaba are getting along very well. You can tell by just looking at their respective social media. But Sam seemed tired.
She was very tired.
She seemed tired, and it was like in the OLAP thing and this and that.
Thank you.
They want, for some reason, to steer, and we have friends that have started. They steered the whole OLAP away, saying it's not buns.
Hey,
We're
Alex.
here to tell you right now,
it's buns.
It's buns. And
but there are different opinions about that.
No, but if anybody really wants us to show,
it could be two people using the same account.
Yeah, it's true, but buns is definitely one of them. And the people that want to know or need to know, you can slide in the DMs. We'll tell you why.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna sit here and say, but there are sloppy mistakes that have been made.
Yeah,
but nobody really wants OLAP to be tied to their account. Really, as a confidant, because she's a shithead, and it's like,
I was wondering. So in this span of time we watched, someone in the chat had said that their daughter took one of the tumblers that Sam made to school and left it there. I needed to pick. Does she, like the KYS ATX? Like, is she legit? Like, I mean, is that one of the one? Like, can you imagine I think you would be in serious trouble if you took it to school. Like, I just can't. And she makes her own merch. And let me tell you something. If you order something with the absurd names that she calls me, and you pay to have it put on something that you're going to actually use, you are giving me a whole lot of power, whole lot of space in your head.
That's kind of what I kind of noticed, because sometimes without watching these people, because I don't watch Al, I see the clips that are on Twitter. I haven't watched Sam. I never watched Jabba. I still, if you played this Emma chick's voice, I wouldn't know who it is. I've never gone and listened to her. I just react to stuff on social media. But sometimes I've wondered, why do we stay so relevant? Why do people get so triggered? And then I hear something, a quick 10 minutes of Telfer, and we're all in her mouth. It's it. And it's like she's trying to subtly move on. Here's a news flash. That type of stuff is what makes people lean in. It's almost like she's trying to reinforce to her audience that we're pieces of shit or whatever, just so y'all remember.
Cool,
that makes them come over and look. That makes them come over and watch. And now I kind of get it. I get it a little bit.
Yeah, I just think that, and most of these people that are so angry, with the exception of Owl, because I never really thought one way or the other, they at one time were friends of mine. All the ones that can't stand me like most passionately, Buns, Sam, well, not Emma. I don't know.
No, those
Emma doesn't count because she's like, no, she's not real.
She's not real. she's carrying on this whole charade, like, and I just had my man here. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. And then she does this big long, goodbye, my darling, until girl, y'all were not together. Nobody believes that.
He's asleep on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean right
now. Oh my God, I'm glad she's not here.
I guess I can fancy this for a little while.
Yeah, no, no. Anyway, so I thought that was interesting. It says, Sean, it's Enema. Oh, we call her okay, that's Enema. Even better, because you just have to change one word.
But so
yeah, and that's what's telling is Buns hates Karen, me, Beep's cat, and whoever else. There's no way that OLAP just happened to judge, other than the things
there's
they're
an
just saying.
MO to it. There's somebody that's
Emma
a little
may
bit,
hate her too. I don't know, but
yeah, Emma. This person that's OLAP has been around a lot longer than Emma has. Been on the scene a lot longer.
And I didn't ever post some of the things that show that It's
There's things.
it's open to interpretation.
Not to me.
Alex or Tragic I'm open to take a look, but it's anyway, either one of them.
That's the thing.
It is buns.
Here's the other point of it. There is a chance
she hates all of us.
that over there on that, with Tam and Yaba and this and that, and Olap, because Olap is I think hangs out in Moon's chat or whatever.
Everybody's and Randy's.
And so it's possible that they're trying to pass that off. And Emma seems to be the type that they would say, hey, you want to take that, do you want this account? And Sam will have zero respect for any of those people. Owl, Moon, all them.
And that's what I'm here to tell you.
But if there's something, but if you will do her bidding, she's happy to throw you under the bus for it.
I can tell you right now, Al, Sam has no use for you.
No.
She has no use for you.
You
can come in her chat and you can do whatever, but I'm telling you,
this one
knows. Has no use for you.
This one knows. And
you are a messy Molly.
You're a very messy Molly. And the thing is a lot of people
Karen is super cool.
Some people can get baked and on their live stream and carry it. You just look like a moron.
Yeah.
And your titties are on Google. So
okay. Send them again, Alex. Yeah. No. Okay. No problem. Yeah. Send it around. I would like to see it again, but even some of the screenshots I didn't post because they were from my friends. But there was a couple of times that Buns forgot to switch names and posted the same bullshit.
Alex, I think Alex. As far as Olap goes, there is a chance, like I just said, that they need Olap to be somebody else, so they might be passing it. But Olap was pulling her bullshit way before years, before their Emma was around.
She's also the other name that they go by is Our Lady of Perpetual Poutine.
Right, Olap.
Right, no, but I mean, some people don't know that that's the same. That's the acronym for that person.
And I would just be remiss if I just didn't add the fact that Hatman, dude, we're sorry you got dragged into this shit. We are. We can tell you don't have the stomach nor the heart for it. You'd rather be,
You seem like a
fairly decent dude. You look like Mr. Bean.
You probably were a lot cooler to hang around before you got tied up with that one.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, I understand what it's like for have a fucking maniac doing all kinds of bullshit and you can't keep up. I get it, brother. I get it. And you're like, you do a live stream or you do a vlog and you try to explain a situation and they're behind your back burning down, with a different dumpster fire. I get it. We're cool, bro.
Yeah, everybody in here. I don't know who Lord Muttley is. I've heard it's a cool person. I've heard that, but I'm not sure who it is. It may be someone we don't know. It may be someone, but if anyone knows, and I'm just the only one that doesn't know, but we are all supposed to know. Mm-hmm. Clue a sister and please, it's moi. I know, but John Hope. Oh, okay. It's not a new channel, Mandi 2015. Oh, okay. Hey, Tragic. Tragic's also been doing the Lord's work. Okay, cool. Now I know. Work. That's why I said, I was like, I think I'm supposed to know who it is, but I don't. You know what I mean? And now I do. It's John Hope. Very cool. But yeah, so that's kind of the goings on. I just wanted,
I hadn't heard.
Tell her you don't have to pretend you don't watch me, girl. You can.
I have to admit.
Keep it on the up and up keep it on the up and up. Admit you watch us. I know, Lord. Go ahead. Speaking of snakes, and y'all don't have to get involved. I know some of you like her, but I haven't told Sean yet. Guess who was in there sucking what in the Beast chat? I'm Sunshine Sally.
Oh.
Unless it was like a troll one or whatever. And she's
what was she saying? I'm so sorry, I'm on the peace train now.
She said I come in peace. But I'm also all I'm saying, I hadn't told Sean yet. I figured let's do a reaction, whatever. But I was like, wow. And she's like, I'm so confused, Boho. Why are you modding for? And I was like, oh.
Oh, okay. So I kind of take a step back. Maybe Sally was in there. I
was sad about that too. Not because most of the time what it comes back to, especially people that have ever been, friends with us, cordial with us, is my main thing is when they go do it knowing some of the
knowing
the
the
stolen
stuff
valor
that
and the
she's done.
domestic.
That's
Those
the
two
main
specifically that they know is not correct. They know in their heart of hearts that is absolutely not correct, and they go do it. And another one, Izzy. No sooner did I unblock you and whatever, and you go over there and start kissing ass and get a wrench over there. Are you serious? Again, veteran, stolen valor, really? So
the only thing that I can say is that some people can understand fact and fantasy, but if they're going over there and trying to some people just you're like you said, if you're a veteran and you're over there entertaining that, it's like mind-blowing to me. Mm-hmm. It's almost like I think, you're not about that life. And there's some people that I have sort of figured out they aren't about that life, but some other people, it's shocking.
Yeah.
It really is. It's like,
and
really?
Especially when like not 2 weeks ago, it was like, you know what? Y'all are cool. I can't, I can't get on board with that, whatever. Okay. And then the second, I'm like, so that's just my point. It's like, it's not like there's some people that if you get caught in someone else's chat, just they
expect you to be there.
But it's one thing if you go in there and comment and do whatever. It's another thing to be absolutely like, you're the bomb, you're the best, you are absolutely 100% spot on, and they know it's bullshit.
One of the things that I kind of point out to people, and I pointed out is that when you have shit going on in the world, like we got going on in the world, right? You've got stuff in the Ukraine, and then you got stuff going on over in Israel. That's a pretty significant world event. You can bet your sweet ass that the people that are on here, the narcissists that are on YouTube, will have to redirect your attention back to them and start wearing stupid shit on their faces and this and that, because they think that what they got going on their channel is more important than what's going on in the world. What's going on over there?
Me?
Right there.
Lord Muttley said, is someone going to answer my question? And
What's the question?
I scrolled all the way back and I didn't see a question. I saw wanting to know Moxie's email address. I don't know Moxie's email address off the top of my head.
I'll find it, babe.
I looked, I can't find it.
I come in peace. Why do you have to come in peace?
I think because when I was like, I didn't know who it was or whatever. That was the question. Was about the email address? Yeah, Khaki is hilarious. I love it when she changes her screen name. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you, Karen. When she changes her screen name and when it comes in, you think it's Khaki making that comment, so you read it. She's a pretty good troll.
No, you're right. Muttley never asked a question.
It was about, there's cat hair on this curtain.
Look, I like how Carlos did his freaking...
I've never been able to do that. Add emojis and shit like that and all of that. Like, I'm not very good at that. You know what I mean?
Oh, Moxie. Okay, we're good. Moving on.
We're totally, caught up.
But what I was saying is that nothing like bringing out having a significant, very traumatic world event that's going on to make the freaking narcissists start wearing stupid shit on their faces and trying to redirect their life, their miserable life is more important than what's going on in the world. And you see several people that have done that.
There's some people that don't even, they can't comprehend the magnitude of what's going on. And I'm not trying to drag everybody down, but they really just, they can't, I guess they can't really empathize with it.
The thing is that's what I mean. It's like there is nothing, like when people come into a drama community and they start giving their swag on things, and I'm not talking about people that are qualified to talk about Israel and this and that. I'm talking about in our drama community. And it's not, don't confuse
Alex.
Don't confuse freaking fuckery and fuck shit with world events. They're different. They are different. Totally different things that are going on.
In fact, really, you feel almost inept discussing them on a platform like this.
And that's what I mean.
We're so superficial.
When people come into streams right now and go into other people's chats and go, I'm just trying to be peaceful, just based on everything that's going on in the world. I'm just gonna, be forgiving today and that's a slap in the fucking face of what really is going on. We ain't it.
No.
Drama in YouTube ain't it. We do this.
Life's too short not
We
to
do
make
this, and then we can turn it off when we want to go on with our real life. And there's people out there living a hell right now.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be. Don't
Yeah.
fuck with that when you're talking about fuck shit.
Yep.
That's my point.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
It's the magnitude of it. Like I said, you can't even it's almost like in this platform to speak of it is just disrespectful.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, that I agree.
We can come on here and we can check out of all the problems in our lives or the stuff that's weighing on our minds, whether it's family, whatever. We can come on here and act however we want to act, but then we shut it off and we go back to whatever we're building in our life and with the stuff that we have to be concerned about.
Khaki, which I would be interested in. She says, "My heart is broken. Please tell me your views on Gaza."
Tell me my views. I won't do it on this platform. I won't.
Okay.
I just don't think.
I agree.
I don't. But Moxie, we know you. There's no. I've got no issue with discussing personal views.
Khaki asked.
Oh, Khaki.
Yeah. Okay, Moxie.
I just don't want to do it here because I would just be completely hypocritical about what I just said. The one thing that I will say about some of the video footage that we have seen, we've seen it over and over with different atrocities. We saw it when I was in Iraq, there was a slew of beheadings that happened. This is 2003, 2004. I didn't see them on the news because I was deployed overseas, but the whole Al-Qaeda thing that was going on, and there were sympathizers for Al-Qaeda and for the Taliban and stuff like that. The thing is that we hear and we have different people that tell us the history of that region, Palestine, Israel, Hamas, Hezbollah, all this, everything. We hear and we try to learn, but when you see images or there's a group that thinks portraying images is going to win them, I guess, what's the word?
Some sort of sympathy.
Not sympathy, but this doesn't score points. It's one thing to say there's atrocities on both sides, and this has been a long-standing, bloody conflict that's gone on forever and ever. But it doesn't do anybody any favors to videotape what they're doing and putting it and filming it and letting it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It was there's people that
You're
are trying to.
You're not furthering your cause.
You're not furthering your cause by showing a bunch of people that don't know anything about anything, that are ignorant about the history. If you show us one side, which is very violent, we tend to be, aghast by it. And that's what I mean. When Al-Qaeda was kidnapping people and beheading them, they weren't making any friends. They may have had sympathizers that want to further their mission. But, even they stopped. They were like, dude, we're showing pictures of us cutting off people's heads. People don't like that.
Yeah.
No matter what we believe, no matter what we say, that's not something that people can get behind. And I think that's what we've seen here. People are, the whole truth is being muddled by images that we see.
Right.
They don't know everything that's going on. And that's kind of all I'll go. That's what I'll say about it,
Yeah, but you're right. It's when you video that and you're like, this is for our cause. It's you're not doing yourself any justice. Nobody's saying
you're not doing any favors.
Has this been that, as we get off the topic, has this been the bloodiest conflict they've had in so many years? Would you say this is the bloodiest conflict Gaza's had in 30 years? I
don't know. I don't know enough about it. I know that when we woke up that morning, and I think it was a Saturday morning, I believe it was a Saturday, and it had happened, and there's a time difference, and we woke up to, images, and the images were very one-sided, when they were showing the the German tattoo artist that was kidnapped and murdered, and then they come back and say she was still alive. That right there, without knowing anything else about anything, isn't going to gain you a lot of support.
No.
From
it's unbelievable.
It's not.
And what I was asking today, hey Aspasia, comparable to 40. Right. No, but what I mean is, and I understand that, but like in this part of the world itself, I know they have a conflict continually. Is this the bloodiest it's been there since?
I mean, that's a question.
Yeah,
I can't answer it.
But yeah, I don't know. But the other, yeah, I think that was.
But I think when people come onto like the drama community with some kind of
mission,
emotion attached to it, and kind of put themselves into drama fuck shit and try to equate it to something that's going on in the world like that, I just don't think it's right. I don't think it's appropriate. I mean, it's just like, it's bullshit.
Especially in the sense that if you come on and say, life is too short, I want to make peace with you, just to random people. Like if I were to say, Randy, if I were to say, Randy, it's, this is going on over there. Life's too short. Let's make that's so superficial.
It's so
superficial.
It's not even
right.
That's kind of what I mean.
Yeah.
And I am not nearly educated enough on the history to even.
Yeah. My grandmother, who she was in her 90s but passed away, she knew all about it. Like she'd been to Babylon, or what was Babylon, before it got blown to shit.
In Iraq. Babylon's in Iraq, yeah.
Yeah, she had visited like Jerusalem and everything.
Al-Hilla is.
She was very, very interested in Babylon.
Al-Hilla, it's called Al-Hilla. You can Google that. That's the name of the town. It was Babylon. It's in the middle of Iraq, south of Baghdad.
And what's amazing to me, it just was like crumbling. They don't have any desire to preserve their own history.
It's kind of,
right?
Yeah. Well, when I was in Hilla, and it was actually the chaplain that came up and said, you're in Babylon. And I was like, I didn't know. I'd been in Iraq a year when that happened.
And you didn't know
I didn't really give a fuck. I was like, okay. But he pointed it out, and then he showed kind of the area. There's these mounds that used to be the Hanging Gardens, how back when Babylon was the center of the universe. And it was just rundown hills that had a bunch of radio towers on it now and everything like that. And you could vaguely see where they had diked. The river was some far, it was off a ways, and they had figured out how to dike and dam the rivers up and bring water into this place. And it was long since.
Like when it was Babylon.
Right. Yeah. When it was in, the Hanging Gardens and this.
Wasn't it a beautiful city?
It was considered the center of the world.
Yeah.
Commerce and where everything happened. And it just goes to show that everything, dust to dust. It goes back to the, where it was before.
Yeah. Kaki said we have all failed as humans. That's why I put the quote that's always like stuck out to me, and I posted it, was man's inhumanity to man. And there's like, it's unlike anything in the animal kingdom.
And most of this stuff, though, unless I'm hugely off, are done and fought in the name of a religion.
And the Quran doesn't preach violence.
I mean, this is the only thing that I would say that this is my risque thing, is like when any books, or any Christianity, Judaism, most of those are religions that if you read them, they're based on love. They're based on love. And
right.
Islam is really kind of based on submission. And no, I'm not going to go in, and
I just hiccuped.
It's when the Iraqi people that I met would agree with me.
Really?
They would agree with me. And so, and they believe, so what they did when they fought us, when, the people that were against us in Iraq, some of the people, I sat there and ate lunch with the civil military, affairs, psychological affairs and all that, psyops. with people that sitting across from us that would love to put me on a beheading video. They didn't like us, but and they would say, but when they're talking to us, matter of factly, they say we used our religion. It says that we can take from you. You're the infidels, you guys are over here, and we can take from you in the name of, advancing what we're trying to do. We can take from you to give to us.
And you're like,
so
well,
that's,
and then if you said, well, what are you trying to do?
and,
what would they say?
And so that's why, we said, we come over here, and we're very short-sighted, and we're like, we're going to build these wells for you. We're going to help you build these towns back. We're going to help you do all that. And they're like, what we're letting you do this in the name of what we're
Right.
supposed to do.
Right.
We're allowed to take, and it's also convoluted though, it's like,
No, but it's interesting.
but and there's no really, if you really want to get down to it, we're Christians over here in America, there's been as much, if not more, bloodshed in the name of Christianity in history than any religion. But you can't just go out and say that to somebody.
But
I don't want to hear that.
One Christmas, my daughter got the Quran and she got the Bible. She wanted both of them, and she wanted to read both of them. And it took her about 6 months, and she read both of them. And she said, if you look at it at face value, and she's agnostic, so she was looking at it very, very, she was like, the Bible's is far more violent than the Quran. And it's like, and I'm like,
well, so, and Stitching says Babylon artwork was full of blues and golds. Well, so Babylon, when you think of Babylon, you think of like Hammurabi and mathematics. That's kind of the
very
birthplace
learned.
And Hammurabi's code in Babylon is an eye for an eye. That was kind of what their law was, an eye for an eye. That's where that comes from. But really the first kind of learned mathematics where you teach. Now, I'm sure people have been adding and subtracting forever, but there was never any official mathematics that was written down, like any official.
That's what I heard about it.
And that's where.
Why it was. And the hanging gardens were supposed to be the most beautiful thing in the world, right?
Hey,
they made things grow even though it was desert, right?
Hot Discord rejects. Hey, what's up? What's up?
Right?
Say that again.
They made beautiful hanging gardens using the
water. It was the hanging gardens of Babylon.
Using
one of the 7 wonders of the world.
Right, because it was a desert, and they funneled in the water.
That's right. They figured out a series of dikes and canals to bring miles, to bring it miles.
Right, and grow beautiful.
Right, so in essence, that's also the first kind of plumbing, too, that they used, So, yeah, so for that time, Babylon, but I'm telling you guys, this was 2003, 2004, and I had a lot of pictures. If I just show you it, it is just a barren wasteland.
But the gates are still there.
There's these pillars. They're like...
That's all that's left?
I think if you Google it in Al Hilla or talk about what's left of Babylon, they're these like...
if they're
and
they
were blue, and I believe they had blue in them, and they were just like animals. Like on these things, yeah.
That's sad that it's gone.
But when you're sitting over there as an American soldier that has been doing whatever, I'd been in Sawyer City for the whole year, and I'm sitting there, I didn't really care that I was in Babylon.
Yeah,
I didn't give a shit at the time. I was so cynical and
you're
whatever.
Good at the end of the day.
So, but now when I reflect on it, I probably should have paid attention.
Hanging Gardens had a spring. I guess they did. But there's no gardens there now.
No. So when you look at the mounds that used to be the Hanging Gardens, they're like, you're in a desert, and it's a dirty part of the desert. And you've got a couple little spires that are left, and that's it. And so where the Hanging Gardens were you can tell they weren't natural mounds. Like somehow they didn't stand out. They stood out a little bit, but they're just all run down, and they had a bunch of like antennas and radio towers on top of them and stuff like that. There's no vegetation at all.
That's sad.
Yeah.
I might look at the pictures and not like photographs, obviously, but the paintings and things like that of it.
I always say to people that my time in Iraq.
Oh, earthquakes change the springs too.
Oh,
that makes sense.
That does make sense. But my time in Iraq, what sticks with me and gives me more like whatever that kind of haunts me more than the combat. And combat is, we did whatever as American soldiers, and that is what it is in itself. But really what sticks with me forever in my life is the way people live.
Right.
And in some instances, the lack of value for human life. And when you're living in like a third world atmosphere in a desert, how you simplify things to survive.
Yeah.
Like people that are literally trying to figure out how they're going to eat on Monday, how they have enough food to Thursday. And you realize that, but they're humans. They're still human beings like everybody else, and they have minds just like everybody else. The religion is so strong because it's what they had.
Yeah.
And that's their belief in, you had to believe that in something greater, because there was shit there. It was just, they live in a hut that might be at the size of this living room, and
I was seeing that definitely like in like around the time of the plague and things like that. Used to the peasants, the kind of the lower class, most of the time would have to go to work, whatever they did for income, to get the money that they needed to go buy the food that day for their family. Like there was no storing it. You know what I mean? They didn't keep food in the house. Like you went to work, they gave you the shillings or whatever. You went to the market, got the food for your family, and that was that. You ate it as much as you could. If you didn't work, maybe you didn't eat. But it's so like what in today's world, what we think is considered, well, I've got nothing to eat. I've got nothing. And you have tons. There are people in the world that have literally nothing.
Right. So you think about we make. I look about, let's just say that what I make in a day at my job, right? What I make.
Still has his job.
And yeah, I still have my job. It's been a year since Sam said that I was going to get fired.
You were going out in cuffs, and me too.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
We're going to go
We
in
do
handcuffs.
have handcuffs, but they're the fuzzy kind. No, we really
we
don't
use
have
those for
them.
different things. You want to see our handcuffs? Do you guys want
really
to
don't
Hey,
have.
do you want to see ATX in handcuffs?
The fuzzy ones.
But yeah, it like if I took $10 or whatever, and it's a little bit more than that, but like a $10 bill and say I'll cut Iraq, it's worth how much ever, I don't know for sure, but it's like, a month's wage or whatever.
Something like that.
And, their whole economy it's just, we got it pretty good living in this country. Bottom line, it's we.
His dad always says that. He says.
So when I was growing up,
have it very well.
So my dad used to teach me growing up. He said, my dad grew up in inner city Pittsburgh, right, in steel mills and stuff, Irish, and he used to say things like, whenever his big deal was don't make yourself a victim. Right. Don't make yourself a victim. And he used to say stuff like, I used to wake up every day and I would look at the mirror and I'd thank God that I grew up. It was a bunch, and it sounds really, really fucked up when I say it. He said that. And he would say, I grew up male, I grew up straight, I grew up white, and I grew up in America. And I used to say, well, that's pretty fucking short-sighted. But what my dad was trying to teach me is I don't have to put up with, shit that gays have to put up with. I don't have to put up with the shit that minorities have to put up with, black people have to put up with. I don't have to deal with the bullshit that women have to put up with. And I don't have to deal with and I'm in America. And that's what he was trying to tell me. He says, where you are and what you were born into, you have everything.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. But it took me a long time to understand what he meant.
Right.
No,
I understand.
Because if somebody was just to look at you and say, I thank God every day that I grew up, that I look in the mirror and that I grew up white. And you say that and people are like, well, that's fucked. And he goes, no, I just don't have to deal with the same battles. I don't have to deal with the same bullshit.
Especially in the 1950s.
Right. That minorities have to deal with.
That was,
No,
no.
And that's what he meant. But if you don't have any context to it, you might interpret it differently, you know?
No, it makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of oh, that's you. I was like, I didn't know what that thing was. But yeah, Aspasia says we are the most affluent, most blessed country on earth, and we have a responsibility to lead the way for freedom, democracy, and justice.
And so when people say something to them to how we spend money and stuff, you know, and they talk about the American military and they say we're the world police, we kind of are.
Yes.
We kind of are. No matter where we go in the world, when a United States Marine, Army guy, airman, whatever, step off into whatever operation they're doing, they're looked at. I mean, they are, you know, and I'm not saying we're the best because, I mean, the Israeli army is pretty sophisticated. You know, the special forces, the SAS. I worked with Polish special forces when I was in Iraq. They all have elite forces that are badass individuals. I'm talking about like when they see the American flag on someone's shoulder, the ideology and
it's recognized.
What they expect out of us.
They know that you're not going to take them and behead them.
Well, no, but they expect some kind of like we're supposed to be something different. You know, like, we're supposed to be. I'll give you an example. When we first went into Sawyer City, we were the first ones to get into Sawyer City, and Sawyer City was a 3 mile by 5 mile square in northeastern Baghdad, where Saddam had herded all the Shia, and there was no power and there was no running water in that, and it was just this huge slum. It was this huge ghetto. And we called it the Scheißestrasse because that means shit streets in German, right? And we would go in there, and, you know, when the first people in that area saw us, we were like larger than life to them because the word was on the street that we had eliminated Saddam Hussein, right? So, and Saddam Hussein to them had put them where they are and made them stay where they are. So they were a little bit scared of us, you know, because we destroyed this devil, you know. But then after a while, you know, they know so much violence. The Shias, when they were finally able to leave Sawyer City, they were running around and they were slaughtering Sunnis because the Sunnis, you know, they're the Shias and the Sunnis. So they were exacting revenge on these, and we were going up to them and we were trying to stop the violence. They didn't understand why we weren't more heavy-handed with everything that we did. Like, we came up there, we swept through, and then we were trying to keep the peace. They didn't understand that. That's all. They were persecuted their whole life, and we showed up and we kind of opened the doors for them, and, you know, they didn't understand why we weren't just primally violent, you know, because they were going around just yanking, you know. So
Saddam Hussein was a Shiite? He was
a Sunni.
He was a Sunni.
Yeah. He lived up in Tikrit, up in the northern part. And his tribe, somebody, he's a Sunni, but he was a certain tribe. And someone could put in. And so his family had all the power. You know, he was the powerful in the country. And it's a whole big long thing if you guys would study, you know, Sawyer City and Al Sadr, and y'all remember in 2004 when, you know, the Mandi militia started to. It's a whole thing. The whole thing. I was there for that, but it's just they don't understand the way we are.
No,
they just don't.
They don't.
But
when you said the American flag, I would think that some places they've like, okay, they're not gonna hurt us. But I guess
they don't know anything except for what they've heard.
They've heard. That's how it is in Russia, is that they believe what Putin's saying because they don't have any other like information or whatever. So that's interesting.
Joss is here.
Hello, Jocelyn. Though, I had shared on my social media. I'm gonna say this very quickly. Paula promoted it to Jocelyn. Her little Shih Tzu needs some help, and she has a GoFundMe. I posted the link on my Twitter. I think it's the last thing that I posted on there. And if you could help her out, she listed very detailed what's going on. And if you could help her out, that would be fantastic. So, there was something we were going back to. It sounds like he cared and had compassion for what other people went through. That's Sean, all the way. Anything living, even succulents. I'm serious. If he finds one that's dying at Walmart, he buys that one. I mean, I'm serious.
The thing in Iraq that really got me, like, really made me, that was humanized to me, was the children.
Yeah.
These children, they didn't deserve anything that was going on in their lives. No. They're so, I mean, we have kids that grow up in America, and they grow up in different degrees, different homes, and in different degrees, and they're exposed to different things. These children that are growing up in the streets of Baghdad and the streets of Sadr City, what they have to deal with and what they have to go through by the time they're 8 years old, is heartbreaking. But it's their normal. And the next group that comes through will go the same thing, and the next group that comes up, that's just how their lives are. It's just but you can see the ones that they didn't have any hate, they didn't have any opinion of us. They were curious to see us.
Yeah.
You've seen the pictures of me with the kids, right? Those were the ones that were really kind of kept me kind of sane through a lot of it. Because it's hard to do it. It's hard to.
Hey, Just Strolla, nothing keeps you like the innocence of a kid is like a universal like bond that.
I mean, you could be rolling through like on a patrol through a village, and you'd see some kid, and he would be like 12 years old, like, and you look at him, and that kid is looking at you with eyes that are harder than anything that you've probably ever been through in your life. This 12-year-old, this 14-year-old is, been through some pretty, some atrocious shit, or was exposed to it, or his family had.
That was one thing that I saw the other day, and y'all probably saw it too. They were showing two twin babies. I say babies. They were probably 11, 12 months. They're babies. That parents they were twin girls that their parents had been killed in the attacks. And one of the rescuers was feeding one a bottle. And I was like, you can take both of those girls and bring them right here.
Yeah.
And I was like, and they've had enough of that. You know what I mean? Like,
and they're how old? They're a year old.
11 or 12 months.
It's just.
And I mean, I'm sure they have family or whatever. And I'm sure there's a whole bunch of people, but that's kind of like, in a sense, who we are as a country. You know?
And the thing is that, so people have the rights here to protest and do whatever, and they have a right to, to talk about and to video and to do things that a lot of countries you can't do. You won't be able to speak out the way you speak out, or act the way, or broadcast things. You'd get killed for it. You'd be in prison for it. You're not allowed to do it. So. It's crazy.
It's unfathomable. So we didn't even get to talk our chickens, Sean. We have a whole bunch of various size and colors eggs. Hey, Jim, I have not seen you, Jim the Gator Man.
Yeah, where have you been hanging out, bro?
So, this world's gone crazy.
Yeah. I mean, so we went down this avenue. Somebody asked, what my opinion of what was going on in, with Gaza, Israel. And I mean, I've seen enough of this world that, only going on what I see on the news, and, I
do you think we need to help?
To take a side?
No, help.
Help. What does help mean? Ukraine.
Send.
Should we help Ukraine? Should we help Israel? Should we?
Well, specifically Israel.
I think that.
Do we have a responsibility?
Here's what I know. When we condemn what we see the videos of what is happening, what Hamas is doing, right? It's like and so the people that support Hamas say, well, Israel's been doing that, does the same and worse, and I have not seen that.
Yeah.
I have not seen that.
And then by the same, this is like a whole different angle of it. So my son is in Korea. There's no plans, to go over there. But then you look at what if he, as an infantryman, was going there, deployed there it's not a peacekeeping because but how do you almost lose your right to have an opinion? Because when I think about it, like I can have an opinion, but when you sign that blank check, doesn't matter what your opinion is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that means, in case y'all haven't heard, that's what basically soldiers do when they enlist or when they join the military, is they're saying, here you go.
Yeah, it's a blank check.
Right.
I know that I'm sort of deflecting, but you catch me.
Have a good night, Khaki.
You catch me looking on those Instagram sites that show the trench warfare that's going on in the Ukraine. And Mandi watches me, and she says that it changes my mood and everything. I don't notice that, but when I watch what's going on, I find myself picking a side.
Yeah.
I do, and I try to think about how I would act. There's nothing like bringing a card. So just imagine if, whether you're Republican, whatever your religion is, or this and that, if all of a sudden some foreign country was marching through the streets of Dawsonville, or how you would feel about that. Now that's a little bit different than what's going on in Israel. I get it. It's different because everybody's trying to claim the same turf for their own. They say it's their own.
And it's not a huge piece of land.
Right.
Right? It's not a huge piece of land. Not
really. I'm not sure how big the Gaza Strip is. I don't know if anybody knows that could put in the chat. Some people would say they equate it to like Sawyer City. They equate it to, a group that pushed another group there. I just don't know enough. I don't know enough about it.
Yeah. The one thing I did see that they have now, one of the videos I saw that they have in Ukraine is they now have unmanned stretchers that are controlled almost like a drone controls it or whatever. So they are able to put, the injured on this and it takes them to for aid. They give them whatever morphine, whatever they need. And then it takes them straight out so that they can keep fighting. And it's pretty sophisticated. And I'm like, it's almost like even war is becoming automated. What's going to happen someday when the robots are soldiers?
It's
who's got the best robots?
People will say that there's going to be no more
25 miles long. Karen's always on it. Yeah. 25 miles long.
It's not, and how wide?
Yes.
How wide?
It's about stealing lands hundreds of years ago. When I asked my dad, when I was fairly young, why they fight there, why is it that they continually fight? And he explained the story of Abraham having two sons.
3 to 7 miles wide. Right. Yeah, that's not big.
That's not big. Having two sons, right? One was born of a concubine, and that was Ishmael, right? See, someone will know. And then the other one, and that's where it all comes down to. Hubby says Gaza isn't big at all. Right. That's what I had heard. It's not a very big piece of land. So I'm like, but if y'all blow it away, if y'all destroy it,
this is
fighting.
This is before I knew any. Okay, so you slept in that morning, and I woke up, and it was something where you weren't feeling good or whatever. And I said, oh, by the way, this is what happened overnight. And you kind of watch it, but the very first, that's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
That's crazy. Yeah. I mean,
what
if
I'm
you
saying,
think about how
5
big,
million
if you
people.
look about like how big New York is.
It's like half the. So we're talking about something that's a fourth of the size of Florida.
Yeah.
Not even considering, not even the panhandle of Florida. A fourth of the size of the state of Florida.
Right.
With that many millions
No,
of people.
a lot less than a fourth of the size. I mean, a lot less. You talking about Israel, or are you talking
I'm
about?
talking about Gaza.
No, Gaza's way tinier than that.
So, okay. So what, an eighth?
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
Or a 16th?
I mean,
okay, but that, and then to have that many people.
Right. It's not even, Atlanta's bigger.
Yeah, I don't even know if there's that many people in the state of Florida. I mean, there is.
But anyway, the thing is that what I started to look at, and, you know, I get there's propaganda. I know there's stood on both sides, but it's really the first thing I saw. And it's because it was broadcast by Hamas, the kidnapping of the German tattoo artist. And I'm like, how is that? I mean, that's fucked up. That's
how's that gonna help
fucked
you?
up,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm looking at it without knowing. And then, of course, you start seeing, you know, hearing the people say, well, both sides commit atrocities. And I say, yeah, but they're not broadcasting, you know, the other side's not broadcasting the shit that they're doing. It's, like we said, it makes them look like a terrorist group because they're showing acts of terror.
Yeah.
That's my point. It's like if people wanted to get behind, you know, ISIS was trying to claim something or Al Qaeda's trying to claim something, and they're trying to scare the rest of the world by showing beheading videos. It's not making people back them.
No.
You know, it really takes education. Somebody coming, well, let me explain what's really been going on. It's like, well, then don't fucking
and then like
broadcast this shit.
Then 2
for
days
us to
later,
see.
people in Baghdad were supporting Hamas, and
Well,
so they were burning their shit. And I'm like,
well, in Chicago, there's pro-Palestine.
I know.
I mean, it's just, you know, it would behoove us all to you know, get on the internet and study it a little bit.
I'm actually going to, like, because we've talked about it, but
what's going on right now can really shape the whole world. As far as like, there's a lot of people that say, and this is going to kick off a world war. There's going to be in bigger chunks, and people are going to take sides. A lot of people said it began before that, but I mean, the whole world is watching this, and it's almost like people are forgetting about the Russia attacking Ukraine.
Exactly.
They're forgetting that's going on.
That's still
still happening. The world is freaking burning right now. It's just.
Yeah. People say it's the end of times. My great grandfather said it was the end of times in the 50s. He said it couldn't get any worse than that in the 50s.
You remember when we were riding in the car? Mandy and I were riding in the car, and we were talking about the universe.
I was just going to tell them about that.
We were talking about the universe.
It was very deep. Was it last night?
It was a couple nighs ago.
When we came back from your parents.
Yeah, we were coming. Why are we talking about that?
Because we were saying that we don't have that. If there's another place where there's life, we can't say that there's not. And you said something about if they're people believe they've been helping us. They don't want us.
We were talking about
that was interesting. I'd never heard that.
Talking about
but they don't want us to fuck
the
our
pyramids,
shit up.
and that the pyramids, they must have had some kind of knowledge of electricity.
So you were saying
power because of the way the pyramids were built. And I was saying that, you know, there's a large belief in that, you know, that there have been species from other planets that have been watching us for a long, long time. And the reason why I kind of believe that is because I think it would be, we were talking about the atmosphere and how, you know, we're perfect. You know, the human beings were like this perfect combination of evolution and atmosphere to create who we all are as human beings.
Function.
And it had to be this perfect chemistry to happen. I thought that it would be extremely, extremely just small-minded to think that if the galaxy and the universe was never ending, right? That somewhere, somehow, light years away, remember we were talking about that? Somewhere that there's not the same combination, that there's not intelligent life.
And I thought it was, and you were like, and that they're like, quit destroying your world.
Yeah.
But they're sick of us.
That if there is intelligent life, that they're far more advanced than we are if they can see us from wherever they are.
Right.
and they're
and they're
watching
getting
us.
tired of us.
And they're looking at us, and this is why we're saying is they're looking at what's going on in our world, going, these people are fucking savages.
Right.
This whole species is savages.
Right. They've been given everything. Yep. Their bodies function beautifully. They know how to do all of these different things. Their technology has, and they're gonna fucking destroy each other.
But you got to think about if they're smart enough to, and technically advanced enough to travel through the cosmos to see us, their mind is probably way advanced too, as far as like dealing with emotion, dealing with warfare, dealing with things that they're probably like we are. It's like
they're killing each other.
It'd be like us trying to teach our dogs to drive.
Right.
You know, it's like, oh my God.
It was interesting though. You know, guys, God has given us so many changes to do. Our human nature screws it up every time. Do you know how perfect things have to be to create an embryo?
Perfect, you know, and
for that embryo to develop each of the body systems it needs.
Right.
And of course things do go wrong. But
the fact
in
that
a healthy birth that our eyes work, our ears work, we have 10 fingers, 10 toes. We've got 2 feet, even though you can't use them until you're a year old. They're not like tadpoles. They're born with feet.
Right.
Even though we don't use them.
And it's like we were watching the movie Meg 2. I accidentally bought it. You know, I didn't mean to.
He did.
We were looking at previews so we were watching, you know, so Megalodon that existed millions of years ago.
Pink Life said, if they're flying past Earth, they probably tell each other to lock their spaceship
That's
doors.
Right.
They're like, they're fucking
Don't get
savages.
gas here. I mean, it was a story. I always tell this story. It's like when I lived between Fort Knox and Fort Riley, tragic. You had to go through St. Louis, right? And, you know, East St. Louis, I guess you can ask anybody that knows anything about East St. Louis is probably the worst, you know, part of any city in the country, East St. Louis. It's just, I've been through it, you know.
Yes, tragic. She said sometimes you have to be, anyway, go ahead.
And so, you know, we're driving, this is my first wife, and when our kids are babies, and we're driving to Fort Riley, and, you know, my wife, Jessica at the time, was like, we need to get gas. And I said, well, either stop before you get to St. Louis or go after St. Louis, because really the only place to get off on, I think it's 70, is East St. Louis. And she was like, okay. And don't you know, goddamn, you know, she pulls right off into East St. Louis. I've got one baby in a car seat. I got the other one's like 4. And, you know, we get out at the gas pump, and there's people with the glass that's about 2 feet thick, and they're looking at us like, what in the fuck are you doing here? You know, it was like, I was like splashed $3 in the tank and kept it moving. Go. That's probably what,
St. Louis, Missouri?
East St. Louis.
I didn't know Missouri I didn't know St. Louis was a rough thing.
Oh my God. And
you think of Missouri.
You talk to anybody like that's from the inner city, and they'll be like, yeah, we're rough, but we ain't got shit on East St. Louis.
Oh, see, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, Tragic says, this is funny. He says, sometimes you have to be bad for the good of it all. Exactly. And that's why that is the difference between our community and the rest of this fucked up world. Yeah. Is that our being bad is nowhere near what is bad and
right
wrong.
And that's the whole point that I was said it an hour ago in the conversation is when you're in the American military and you're wearing, it's not like we're in disguise trying to blend in. So when we get off a plane or off a boat wearing, you know, the United States Army or the United States Marine Corps, we've got bullseyes on us. People are watching us, everything that we do, and they expect us to be a certain way.
And they expect that the president can climb a flight of stairs.
And they don't get, like I said, and like they didn't understand why we don't just kill anything that gets in our way, that we try to be a little bit, you know, more diplomatic. Standard. Because people in the places that we're at, Baghdad, Iraq, you know, freaking Djibouti, Africa,
but can I ask,
Afghanistan, that's how they live. They live in situations in society where the biggest gang rules.
And you may not know the answer to this, but it was such an important question I'd been thinking about, and it just flew out of my mind, but that's okay.
It'll be like 2:30 in the morning, and we'll be lying there, and Mandy will sit up and go, I remember.
I remember
what the fuck I was going to say.
It was about this situation. You said that it made a different standard.
That let the aliens fly past and lock their doors.
Yeah, when we got into that conversation, that was interesting.
We're riding home from my dad. And the thing about it is if these civilizations are seeing us, how far advanced are they? I mean, they could squash us, and they're looking at us like in a little jar going, look at these fuckos.
That's what I'm
look
saying.
At these freaking, these are pretty tough. Watch
and then we started talking about what if every galaxy has an Earth? Then there's going to be, like, not called Earth, obviously, but the same. We don't know that there's not another one out there. How would there not be another one out there?
That's what I'm saying. People that says, no, there's nothing out there. I'm like, how arrogant is that?
So we're like a little Truman Show.
Something like that.
That's actually kind of.
And then there's all kinds of things that out there, all kinds of conspiracy things that will tell you what they are and where they are and how they're looking and shit like that. Like the reptilians that are underneath the ground, and there's all kinds of shit. I'm telling you, I've either been through parts of my life or where I was into that, or I was getting really fucked up and I was trying to figure out how to,
And Bigfoot was a thing.
Bigfoot's real. There's Bigfoot out there. What Bigfoot, guys? Is Bigfoot real?
Yeah.
Tell me.
It could be. I mean, I find it interesting to believe that you believe. He's always blurry. I don't really know why.
That's because he is blurry.
Maybe he has bad internet.
He's blurry. He is blurry. He's not like, if he was to walk by right now, he's blurry.
He's blurry.
Yeah.
Look, Scout's like, I don't have time for that. Scout's like, we got him. Oh, that's my kitty. You about ready to go?
I am. We went down a rabbit hole. I shouldn't have drank that whole monster. But
I wish that I could remember what I was going to ask, because it was like, it was so important. Karen, you always remember everything. What was I going to ask?
Melinda said, did you ever go in the tunnels, Sean? Talk to me, Melinda. I will tell you this before we go. How long have we been doing this? Okay. So when we got to Iraq, when we got into Baghdad, where we stayed, you guys have probably heard me say it before, was used to be Saddam's secret security prison and area. And we liked it for two reasons. Number one, it had a barracks. And number two, it had standoff, meaning that nobody lived within like 100 yards of this walled compound, because it was a death row, like the torture area and death row that in Baghdad where, Saddam took political prisoners and this and that. We lived there. So the prison that was there, and we had J-dammed the shit out of it. And so we were living in there. We would go into these prisons. And I mean, I'm telling you, if you believe in energy and you believe in ghosts and you believe in spirits, they were there. On the walls were all kinds of stuff that was written in Mandarin and Chinese. And we found out that Saddam would hire these Chinese because they were really good engineers, and they would build these underground passages so that he could travel. And then when they were done building them, he would kill them so that they couldn't go back anywhere and tell anybody what they'd done. And so at one end of the prison, there was these one-way doors. They, you could only, they lock shut. And there was EKGs and there was all kinds of stuff where when you read them, they had like,
you had a translator.
They had tortured people, and you could see they tortured them near to death and then would bring them back.
Wow.
Would raise them back to hell so they could torture them again. That type of shit that really exists. And underneath this compound was this huge, like a football field size area underneath, and had nothing but just one file cabinet after the other full of shit. Just full of things.
And for a while, weren't they all finding millions of dollars? He had hidden places.
Wow, we never found any of that. But
yeah, but I mean, Karen, she's so sweet. She was trying, when I was like, Karen, read my mind. What was I going to say? She said, I think you were talking about Tragic's comment. I don't think so. It was something where I was going to say, maybe you don't know this, but why is it called da-da-da-da? And it completely left me. And I don't think I can remember.
Melinda, what tunnels are you talking about, though?
Didn't he have tunnels under the city?
No, I don't think she was talking about that. Did you ever go in the tunnels? Which ones are you talking about? That made me think the tunnels I knew about were.
That's what I'm.
Is that what she's talking about in Iraq and stuff?
They had a bunch and there was no windows, right? If shit hits the fan, you are welcome to come to our comp. Let me tell you something about jarring and canning.
Yeah.
Karen is ready. Do you understand me? She has got every...
Karen and her husband have probably about 10,000 square feet. 8,000 of them are canned goods.
Mm-hmm.
And
chickens, all kinds of things. She's got like really good jarred and canned shit. Yeah. She can't make beanie weenies. I asked her, I was like, can you do beanie weenies? Because when Loretta and I head that way, we can live off the beanie weenies or whatever. Loretta always goes to bed super early. I think it's so cute. She's like...
Melinda says every country has tunnels. I haven't seen ours. However, when we were in Colorado Springs...
I was going to say, there's
supposedly from Denver, the airport in Denver, to NORAD, which is the... outside in Colorado Springs, there's a part of the mountain that is where the bunker is if we have a nuclear attack, where they take the president.
Where the president goes.
And supposedly, and we got to see it. We got to see where you can see the antennas and stuff.
They don't hide it.
And supposedly, Denver is about 70-mile drive from Colorado Springs. And supposedly, from that airport all the way underground for 70 miles, are supposed to be like a highway.
They said that they can't, when they sent him to NORAD on 9/11, right?
Something like that.
They don't, yeah. He landed and no motorcade ever left the airport to go to NORAD. Like
right.
he just, so there has to be a tunnel under there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was interesting they don't try to hide it. It's like, yep, it's right there. There's a sign. Well, not a sign.
Well, the actual mountain, but they say that the inside where they've built it could withstand a nucular attack.
It's like got enough.
If a nuclear bomb landed right there in Colorado Springs, inside that mountain, they would be safe. They could keep the president alive.
Says Missouri has one of the biggest tunnels in the United States.
Missouri does?
That's what she said. That's interesting though. And isn't there also a seed like an up in, like, I think it's like in the Arctic area. They have a huge thing that has seeds for every single thing.
I've heard that.
And it's
people can get contracting jobs where they just go there and they guard them for like 6 months.
So there's like every single piece of produce we have, everything that we have, it has those seeds and those everything. So that if we had some sort of catastrophic disaster where civilization had to start over, there's everything you need to regrow everything that we have.
You guys
they have
ever
YouTube
see
videos about it.
The Book of Eli, the Book of the Book of Eli? That's what it's about.
Is that what it's about? Yeah, they do. They have them for everything.
They turned Alcatraz into a museum where to bring
and they also have everything that we need for all the vaccines we have. So they've got like all of the storage for the smallpox, for everything that we need if we needed to eradicate it again.
Yeah.
That we have it. I save all my harvest, plus I've thought heirloom seeds. See?
See that? I see.
I I also heard that El Chapo's tunnels that he used to get from place to place, I heard that the government, not our government obviously because it's not here, but the Mexican government took over those tunnels and uses them now for different things.
I mean,
they built a tunnel and they put him on a little man-made boxcar and he sailed straight out of that prison.
They had a motorcycle and everything.
He did.
He drove
was like,
a motorcycle
if you
right out of there.
see the video when he's like going to the bathroom, gone.
Yep.
He was gone.
It was it.
Yeah.
That's a little different though, you know.
It was insane though. I'm like, you can't tell me that prison didn't know. And everybody's like, of course the prison knew. Mm-hmm. Right? So they had to bring him to the States to hold him in the ATX Supermax. Which we saw that when we were in Colorado and it's less than 100 miles from NORAD. So if the shit hits the fan and they empty out the ADX, you got the Unabomber who's going to be mingling with the president.
So we go out there. If you guys, I think you have it as your Facebook, as your
us. Yeah, my wallpaper.
So her wallpaper,
my banner.
And banner, Mandi Curley on Facebook shows us at Royal Gorge. But on the way out to Royal Gorge, we did pass the Supermax.
Y'all know I'm intrigued with
and you
ADX.
See it, it's right there. I mean, when you're on the highway, there it is. It's right there. And
if
it's
you're
like,
bored, look up Florence Supermax and look at who's there. There's some random people that I'm wondering why they're there, like the one that killed Jeffrey Dahmer's there. Who gives a shit about that?
Yeah.
He should have gotten a medal, not...
But when you see, it's something right out of like,
It's crazy.
a movie. Like
the guards are not allowed to talk to each other or to the prisoners in the presence of whatever. There's no sound at all.
Nope.
There's something weird about their outdoor time. It's a cage, I think, and it's only 30 minutes.
All they can see is straight up
they
to the
can't
blue sky.
See. Yeah,
they can't see anything else.
It's insane. Like it's supposed to be like inescapable, not just because of the structure itself, but because of the fact that they have kind of gone into what fails. Well, the guards get manipulated. Well. They see weaknesses or whatever. They see outside. If you have nothing but 24 hours a day to think, that's how they come up with it.
No, but they drive you crazy, man.
That's
lack
what I'm
of
saying.
Communication, lack of seeing another. Could you imagine, like, if we lived out there and that's where I worked? I would either be an extremely boring individual or I'd be freaking wild when I got home.
Tanner said that what was it? That there's a whole procedure in place should El Chapo escape. Like the military, my son trolls me a lot in person, but he said that there is a group stationed there that there's an entire protocol should he escape.
Yeah.
So Melinda says that she lives on an Indian graveyard on an Indian mountain, Kansas City. Lots of those in Kansas.
Yeah.
Lots of those. And I'm not a big believer in spirits and shit like that.
She isn't.
But
I
do believe that you don't piss off the dead. Don't disturb their final resting places. Don't, and if they were pissed off during their life, they're going to be pissed off when they're...
We get in these... So we have this long-ass country road that we have to get home. And sometimes Mandy will be like, did you see that? Or whatever. And I'm like... No, and she goes, well, I said, what could be blah, blah, blah. And sometimes, if you believe in the supernatural or whatever, she thinks I'm nuts when I say that.
I don't, here's my thing. If you're of the Christian belief, right? There's a heaven and there's a hell, and when you die, you're going to one or the other. There's no in between.
What do you have in your mouth?
He gutted this thing.
You got that? Get that out of your mouth.
You know those little Kong things that you can replace the squeaker? He doesn't chew it up. He just...
I don't want him to choke on it, though.
He's got 3 all over the house. He just holds it. But you can take it if you want. He's very, very furry. He's got a bath.
You got a bath today? Sawyer Brown.
Anyway, but yeah, so purgatory, all of that kind of stuff that the Catholic Church believes in. I'm like, okay, but if there's a heaven and a hell, why is there a purgatory?
Well, because they can't let everybody in at once. But
they can't let everybody in at once.
There's a waiting line. Have you ever listened to
That's what we crack ourselves up.
If you ever listen to Young Jeezy's got a song called "Bury Me a G," and it's talks about he don't like waiting in line.
What is that damn song you've got stuck in my head by Lil Wayne?
Uproar.
Is anybody?
What the fuck though? Where the love go? 4, 3, 2, 1.
I've never heard it, but he played it yesterday and he played it today,
bro.
and now
Got
it's
your front row.
He has a thermicare.
Hair trigger pulled back like a cornrow.
But I'm like, so it's stuck in my head.
Yeah.
I'm making Sean go to urgent care tomorrow evening because he's got a disc or something going on that he's had. His arm goes numb when he lays down and he can't sit for very long. So we're gonna fix that.
But apparently, as we started the stream, we'll close it the same way. Sam said that she's been watching us. We hadn't been live in a week or 10 days or so I don't know what she was watching.
Probably old stuff.
But, she's got us figured out. We're on our fuck shit again.
Now,
it is what it is.
And this, let me tell you, because we've had a rogue mod. We've had it. Speaking of rogue mods.
Let's tell you about rogue. They suck. They suck. Feel for you.
But if you start another channel and amass 4,000 or 5,000 people on it because you're going to regrow it because you can't get the one out of your old channel, don't fucking give away wrenches to people you haven't verified. You're going to go through the same fucking thing again.
Damn it.
Love you guys.
See you guys. Bye.
Oh my gosh. Melinda said there was an indie man sitting in we're going to continue with that next
Melinda,
time.
I'm going to hold this.
We are going to talk about that.
We're going to talk about that.
Like a supernatural. We'll do it with the believer and the non-believer.
And
we'll talk about it. For real. That'd be kind of a cool podcast. The believer and the non-believer.
That's right.
And I won't make fun of anybody, but I'll say why I think that
so
it's
we could put 100 in here and talk drama. We have 9 in here and talk about Indians. I want to talk about
Native Americans. Burial ground.
Okay.
Right?
That's right.
Have a good day.
Bye.
They don't want to be called Native American. Some of them don't like Native American. Some of the